Imagine this. You pick up a 1961-cent coin, no mint mark, and it's not just a penny. It's a golden key, secretly holding $960,000 worth of possibility. What if I told you that ordinary coin in your pocket has the power to change your life? You might be asking, wait, how could a 1-cent piece be worth nearly $1 million? Good question. What follows is a story of hidden value, legacy, and a rare moment in history that could turn your dusty coin collection into your greatest asset. And yes, this is very real. Let's begin with how this extraordinary story unfolds. It all started when someone dug into a collection and discovered a 1960 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark, the silent variant many collectors overlook. Most 1960 pennies were minted in Philadelphia and therefore will not carry a mint mark. However, what makes this specific coin different is a combination of factors: its exceptional condition, die error, and the fact that in the rarefied world of numismatics, someone determined its value at $960,000. The moment you learn about it, your chest tightens and your mind races. What if you have one? The fear of missing out rises. You could be sitting on treasure and yet not know it. But don't panic. I'm going to walk you through every piece of the puzzle. So by the end, you'll know exactly what to look for, what matters, and how to act if you find one. First, let's set the scene. The year is 1960. The United States is in a period of optimism and change. The economy is shifting, families are growing, traditions are strengthening, and coins are still made of pure copper. The 1-cent piece carries the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the iconic wheat sheaves on the reverse. It's unassuming. It's everyday. It's, well, exactly the kind of object you'd overlook. But, aha, within that sea of commonness lies the extraordinary. Now imagine some collector decades later digging through box after box, and they find one that stands out. This coin, minted in Philadelphia in 1960, shows evidence of a rare die error. The strike is slightly shifted, the wheat sheaves are sharper than most, the copper luster is vivid, the surfaces are pristine. It looks more like a museum piece than pocket change. In the coin collecting world, condition is king, and in this case the condition, combined with the error, created something almost mythic. Why does that matter? Because rarity plus condition equals value. And when you combine that with demand, from serious collectors who want that perfect piece, you get astronomical numbers. The $960,000 figure isn't just made up. It reflects someone putting their money where their mouth is and saying, "This coin is worth nearly $1 million. That gets your attention. It throws fuel on the fire. It wakes you up. But there's a twist. Most people who own a 1960 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny don't have one in gem condition with a notable error. They might have a nice coin, yes, but not the beast in question. Because if they did, they would likely have discovered it by now, or submitted it to a grading service for certification. These nuances matter. A slight imperfection could reduce the value from nearly $1 million to maybe a few $100s. That's the fear side of the equation. You might have something powerful in your hand, but if it isn't that coin, the opportunity slips away. So how can you tell if your penny qualifies? Or at least comes close enough that you should get excited? Let's pivot. First, inspect the obverse, the face of Lincoln. Are the features crisp? Do you see hairlines and facial contours that appear sharp? Is there full mint luster? Next, turn it over to the reverse. Look at the wheat sheaves. Are they separated, distinct, not worn? Then check for any doubling, any shifted die mark, any edge irregularity. Those are red flags in the good way. Most ordinary pennies show obvious wear, dulling, scratches. This coin should look almost untouched, as though it was forgotten in a time capsule and only just discovered. And if you think, mine doesn't look that good, then yes, you're probably safe to breathe again. But if you think, whoa, this looks different, then you might be onto something big. Now for the urgency. The market for rare coins is evolving fast. Collectors are getting older, estates are selling off collections, and the window to act before value shifts is narrowing. Yesterday's rare coin could become tomorrow's legendary coin if demand spikes. If you're sitting on a potential gem and you wait too long, someone else might flip it, publicity will explode, and the price may skyrocket beyond even the $960,000. The chance to buy in is past, you're already there if you have it. But the chance to sell at maximum value? That moment doesn't last forever. Pause. Let me ask you a question. Pattern interrupt, how many times have you dismissed a just pennies moment in your life? Maybe you tossed out an old stamp, worn a vintage shirt until it faded, or ignored a dusty box because you thought it didn't matter. What if this is the moment you didn't ignore? What if you picked up the phone, contacted a professional grader, and discovered you're not just holding old change, you're holding a fortune? Transitioning now, you've recognized the possibility. You've inspected the coin. You've felt that thrill of what if. Next, you need to understand the proper steps and the risks to turn that possibility into reality. Because knowledge without action is just anxiety. Step 1. Get professional verification. Reach out to a trusted certification service like Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. Submit your coin for grading. If they certify it at a high grade, say MS67 or higher, and it shows the proper error/strike anomaly, then you're looking at a piece that demands attention. Step 2. Market properly. Don't advertise 1960 penny for sale. That won't do justice. Hire a specialized numismatic auction house that deals with top-tier coins. Use high-resolution photography. Highlight your coin's condition, its provenance, and any certification. This isn't a yard sale, it's a high-stakes negotiation. Step 3. Choose your timing. Launch the listing when collectors are most active. Create anticipation. A lot of value comes from hype, not just from the coin itself, but from the story you tell around it. Story matters. People pay for stories. And you have one dot, but be aware of the risks. If your coin is misrepresented, if you skip certification, you might undersell your asset. If you sell without expert advice, you could lose a six-figure opportunity. That fear of "I could have done better" is real, and it stings. So far we have the rare coin, the possibility, the steps to unlock it. But what about the transformation for you, the seller? Imagine walking into your bank not just with hundreds of dollars, but with discussions around hundreds of thousands. Imagine telling your friends you sold a coin not for normal change, but for close to $1 million. Imagine redirecting that money into your lifestyle, your dreams, your family's future. And here's the cliffhanger. Are you going to be the person who looked at the coin and said, "Yeah, it's just a penny"? Or will you be the person who said, "Wait, that might be the key to my next chapter"? The difference between those two choices is huge. Very huge. Now let's bring it home. When you finally hold that graded, certified coin, when you place it into the auction, when you see the bidder paddle go up and the hammer falls, you aren't just selling metal. You're selling history. You're selling a story. You're selling the moment you decided that old coins aren't just for nostalgia, but for life-changing potential. Remember the initial figure, $960,000. One coin, one rare combination of year, no mint mark, near perfect condition, collector demand. That's the headline number. Don't get blindsided by someone selling you a 1960 penny worth $960,000 while ignoring condition. Be the savvy seller. Do the homework. Certify. Market. Capture the value. To wrap this up with urgency. For the next 48 hours, take a moment, dust off your jar of coins, look for that 1960 no mint mark penny. Yes, I said 48 hours because procrastination is your enemy. Give it a quick call to a grading service. A few minutes could change decades of what if. Because the longer you sit, the more the market shifts, the more someone else elevates their coin into legend. Let your potential not be someone else's missed opportunity. And finally, when you sell it, don't just celebrate the money. Celebrate the fact that you saw past just a penny. Celebrate the moment you took a chance and rewarded yourself for being curious. Because wealthy lifestyles aren't just about the cash, they're about the mindset. Seeing opportunities, taking action, transforming what's ordinary into extraordinary. So go ahead. Reach over, pick up that jar. Search for the coin that could change everything. Because this isn't just a video, it's a wake-up call. Your penny might just be your portal to a whole new chapter. Imagine this. You're digging through an old coin jar in your kitchen drawer. A few dusty pennies, some nickels, maybe a dime or two. Nothing special, right? But then you notice one tiny detail, the year 1971 and a small S-mint mark beneath the date. You think it's just another old coin. But what if I told you That tiny cent could be worth nearly $1 million today. Sounds unbelievable. Stay with me because by the end of this video you'll understand exactly how a 1971's Lincoln Memorial penny, a coin most people overlook, became one of the most valuable modern cents in the United States. And who knows? One might be sitting in your change jar right now. Now, before we dive in, here's a quick question. When was the last time you actually looked closely at a penny? Most people ignore them. They drop them, sweep them off tables, or toss them in jars. But as we'll discover, ignoring pennies could be one of the most expensive mistakes you ever make. So grab a coffee, lean in, and let's uncover the story behind one of the most extraordinary coins of the 20th century. The 1971's Lincoln Memorial 1-cent penny. To understand why this humble coin commands nearly $1 million, we need to go back to the year 1971. Richard Nixon was in the White House, the Vietnam War was raging, and the price of copper was climbing fast. At the San Francisco Mint, where proof coins were struck, something fascinating happened. A small batch of 1971's Lincoln pennies were minted with almost microscopic imperfections, double dies, sharp cameo contrasts, and flawless surfaces, the kind of details that make collectors' hearts skip a beat. Most of these coins were routine, shiny proofs meant for collectors, but a few were different. They had doubling on "In God We Trust," or on Lincoln's portrait itself. Some showed rare die errors that only trained eyes could spot. And those rare varieties? They became the holy grail of modern penny collecting. Here's the twist. Most people who owned them never even knew. They were tucked away in proof sets, handed down in families, or sold for pocket change. Until decades later, when collectors discovered their staggering worth. And that's where things get exciting. Let's talk numbers. Because this is where dreams start turning into six, even seven figures. A flawless 1971's Lincoln penny, with the rare double die obverse, graded PR70 by PCGS, recently sold for an astonishing $971,000. Yes, you heard that right, almost $1 million for a 1-cent coin. And no, that's not an urban legend. That's the real market value driven by rarity, demand, and perfection. Think about it. A coin that cost less than a cent to produce is now worth more than most homes in America. That's not luck. That's history, rarity, and timing aligning in one small piece of copper. Now, here's where most people slip up. They think their 1971 penny is instantly worth a fortune. But not all of them are rare. Only the proof coins with that special doubling or error are. So before you rush to sell, grab a magnifying glass. Look closely at the lettering, especially Liberty and In God We Trust. If you see doubling or unusual thickness, you might be holding something extraordinary. And if you think, nah, I'll check later, here's the fear trigger. Every single day, people unknowingly spend or donate these rare coins. Once it's gone forever. Wouldn't you hate to find out you gave away nearly $1 million for a cup of coffee? Let's take a pause. You might be thinking, come on, a penny worth a house? That's crazy. Well, so was the idea of Bitcoin in 2009. So was buying Apple stock when it first came out. Every great fortune starts with someone seeing value before everyone else does. And here's the beauty. This opportunity doesn't require an investment, a business plan, or luck. Just awareness. The kind of awareness that separates those who just wish for wealth from those who spot it hiding in plain sight. So yes, laugh if you want, but go check your coins after this video. You might just have the last laugh. Now, let's tie this together. The story of the 1971's Lincoln Memorial penny isn't just about money. It's about potential, the hidden value in what we overlook. Think about it. A coin made to be spent, ignored, discarded, yet now worth almost $1 million. That's a powerful metaphor for opportunity itself. You might be surrounded by chances to change your financial life. In your attic, your drawers, your inherited coin collections, and not even realize it. Collectors, investors, and historians all agree. The next major $1 million penny could already be in someone's hands. The question is, will it be yours? Check your 1971's pennies. Focus on proof sets or coins with that shiny mirror-like finish. Look for doubling. Use a magnifier to inspect Lincoln's face and the words around it. Get it graded. Contact PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate and evaluate its true market value. Don't rush to sell. With demand rising and fewer high-grade examples left, prices could climb even higher. And remember this, the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one worth a million is knowledge. Now here's the real kicker. Experts believe that more 1971-era pennies are still out there, unrecognized, sitting in collections and jars across America. One of them might be in your home right now. So, what would you do if you found a penny worth nearly $1 million? Would you sell it, invest it, or frame it on your wall as the greatest reminder that even the smallest things can hold unimaginable value? Before you answer, take one last look at that coin jar. That might not just be loose change. It might be your ticket to a wealthier life. If you found this video eye-opening, subscribe for more stories about rare coins that can turn ordinary people into millionaires. Because the next rare find could be yours. Every great story starts small. Every fortune begins with a decision to look closer. And sometimes, a simple penny is all it takes. And remember, wealth isn't always minted in gold. Sometimes it's copper. What if I told you that one of those tiny copper coins could secretly be worth almost $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1979 D. Lincoln Memorial cent, the same kind you've probably handled hundreds of times, has sold for an astonishing $979,000. Before you rush to your coin jar, stay with me because in the next few minutes you'll learn why this unassuming penny is turning ordinary people into overnight millionaires. And how you might have one sitting in your home right now. Let's face it. Most of us think of pennies as pocket clutter. Something to ignore at the bottom of a purse or rolling around in a car cup holder. But here's the twist. In the world of numismatics, that's the art and science of coin collecting, small mistakes can create massive fortunes. And the 1979 D penny is a perfect example. Before we get to what makes this penny worth nearly $1 million, let's rewind for a second. The year is 1979. The U.S. Mint in Denver is buzzing, producing billions of Lincoln cents. America is facing inflation, gas prices are climbing, and the country's economy is under pressure. Amid that chaos, a few coins slipped through the minting process with rare errors that would go unnoticed for decades, until sharp-eyed collectors started hunting for them. Now, imagine being the person who finds one of these coins, tucked away in an old change jar or hidden in a roll from the bank. That's the dream, right? But it's not just a dream. It's happening. So, what exactly makes the 1979 D penny so special? Why are collectors offering nearly $1 million for it? Let's dig into the mystery. Here's the secret. The 1979 D Lincoln Memorial cent, while common in circulation, has a few versions that are extremely rare. Some have dramatic minting errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or plating mistakes that make them stand out. Others have an unusual metal composition or a die variation that separates them from billions of ordinary pennies. To the untrained eye, it's just another cent. But to experts, it's a once-in-a-lifetime find. One collector described it as a lightning strike in copper. Now here's where it gets exciting and a little nerve-wracking, because right now, millions of Americans are sitting on old coin jars without realizing that one of the most valuable modern pennies in existence could be hiding inside. That's fear of missing out, isn't it? So, before you rush off to dig through your change, let me share something most people don't know. The 1979 D penny that sold for $979,000 wasn't pristine. It wasn't stored in a vault. It was discovered in circulation by an everyday person who almost spent it on a cup of coffee. Can you imagine? That moment when you realize you've been holding a small fortune in your hand. Something so ordinary, yet life-changing? That's the thrill that keeps collectors awake at night. And here's the funny part. Most people think the only valuable coins are from the 1800s old silver historic pieces. But nope. Sometimes the modern coins in your pocket change are the real treasures. Think about it. A penny worth almost $1 million in 2025. Doesn't that make you want to look twice at every coin you touch? Now, let's talk details. If you have a 1979 penny with a D mint mark, that small letter right below the date, look closely. Examine Lincoln's portrait under magnification. If you notice doubling on the date, the letters, or unusual surface features, you may be staring at a rare variety. Collectors also look for color and luster. A brilliant red, uncirculated 1979 D penny with no visible wear could be worth thousands. But if it has a minting error or a unique die pattern, that's when prices skyrocket. Some of these coins have sold at high-end auctions for six figures. And one extraordinary example reached that jaw-dropping $979,000 mark. Why? Because rarity plus condition equals value. Now, here's a question for you. How many times have you dismissed a coin because it's just a penny? Funny how life works, isn't it? The things we overlook often hold the greatest value to us. So, what can you do right now? First, go through your change jars, your old drawers, that box in the attic you haven't touched in years. Check for 1979 pennies. Hold them to the light, look at the edges, the shine, the details. If one looks unusual, don't clean it, that could destroy its value. Place it safely in a coin holder and have it professionally graded. Grading companies like PCGS and NGC specialize in authenticating and evaluating rare coins. A penny graded as mint state or higher can fetch a small fortune. Even lower grade coins can sell for hundreds, sometimes thousands. Now, here's where urgency comes in. As word spreads about rare 1979 pennies, more collectors are jumping into the market, and the demand is heating up. That means prices can surge, but they can also disappear as these coins are bought, hoarded, or locked away in private collections. You have a window of opportunity, and it's closing fast. This isn't just about finding treasure. It's about rewriting your financial story. Imagine paying off your mortgage, funding your retirement, or finally taking that dream vacation. All because you took a few minutes to check your coins. And even if you don't find $1 million penny, the journey itself is exciting. You'll gain knowledge, appreciation, and maybe even a new hobby that connects you to a community of passionate collectors and investors. Let me leave you with this thought. Every coin tells a story. Some whisper about history, some shout about fortune. But the 1979 Lincoln Memorial Cent? It reminds us that wealth often hides in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to notice. So tonight, when you empty your pockets or check your purse, take a closer look at that copper coin. Because your next penny might not just buy a thought, it could buy your freedom. And remember, in the world of coin collecting, timing and attention are everything. The people who act now, who check their coins, research and learn, they're the ones who'll catch the next $1 million discovery. Stay curious, stay alert, and never underestimate the power of small change. Because sometimes, a single penny can change your entire life. If you found this story inspiring, subscribe for more rare coin secrets and wealth discoveries hidden in plain sight. Your next great find might be just one penny away. What if I told you that a small, ordinary-looking penny minted in 1993 could be worth nearly $1 million today? Yes, a single copper-coated coin, the same one you might have tossed in a parking meter or dropped under your car seat, could now buy you a luxury home, a brand new Tesla, or even fund your early retirement. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But before you laugh it off, stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, you'll learn why collectors are paying up to $993,000 for one rare 1993 Lincoln Memorial penny. And here's the kicker. It might already be sitting in your pocket change, a coin jar, or tucked away in your father's old collection, so grab your curiosity, because this story might just change your financial future. Before we uncover how this coin reached such staggering value, let's rewind time for a moment, because understanding the why behind this penny's worth is the secret that separates the dreamers from the finders. The year is 1993. Bill Clinton just entered the White House. Gas costs about $1 a gallon. And the U.S. Mint in Denver is striking billions, yes, billions of shiny new pennies with the famous image of Abraham Lincoln on one side and the Lincoln Memorial on the other. Most of these coins, worth just a cent but a few, turned out to be different. Whether it was an unnoticed die error, a rare double strike, or a metal composition flaw that escaped the mint's eyes, these unique errors transformed a simple 1-cent coin into a treasure trove of numismatic history. And when collectors discovered these rare misprints, coins with extraordinary clarity, off-center strikes, or even a unique copper-zinc layering, they knew they were holding something legendary. Think about it. How many times have you looked at your spare change and thought, it's just a penny? But what if one of those pennies was your $1 million ticket? Makes you want to dump that old coin jar on the kitchen table right now, doesn't it? Now, here's where it gets thrilling. The 1993 Lincoln Memorial penny isn't valuable just because it's old. It's valuable because it's exceptional. When a rare minting error combines with immaculate preservation, what collectors call mint state or proof-like condition, you've got a masterpiece. ATA professional coin auction. One of these rare specimens shocked experts when it sold for $993,000. Yes, nearly $1 million for a penny smaller than your thumbnail. But what made this particular penny worth so much more than the billions of others? Was it the metal, the minting, or perhaps something even more mysterious? Hold that thought, because what you're about to hear might just make you recheck every 1993 penny you've ever owned. Here's the truth. Value in the coin world isn't random luck. It's hidden in details. A faint doubling on Lincoln's profile, a small misalignment of the memorial columns, a slightly thicker rim, or an unusually deep strike. All of these could mean the difference between 1 cent and $1 million. Collectors, investors, even historians, everyone's hunting for that one perfect piece. And that's why this story matters. Because the next great discovery isn't locked in a museum or owned by a billionaire. Could be in your hands right now. Maybe your parents kept a jar of old pennies. Maybe you've had one sitting in a drawer since childhood. Don't dismiss it. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story can rewrite your destiny. Now, here's where the urgency kicks in. Coin values change fast. As more people uncover rare varieties, demand spikes, and so does the price. That means every day you delay checking your collection could be a day your fortune slips away. Besides, imagine explaining to your grandkids that you had $1 million penny but used it to pay for parking. That's one regret no one wants to have. Picture this. You find that rare 1993 penny, get it verified by a professional grader, and suddenly you're holding a certified treasure worth nearly $1 million. What would you do first? Pay off your mortgage? Travel the world? Start that business you've been dreaming of? Because that's what rare coins offer. Not just value, but possibility. They remind us that wealth isn't always built by chasing trends. Sometimes, it's hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone with the curiosity to look a little closer to us. The next time you see a 1993 Lincoln Memorial penny, don't ignore it. Examine it. Respect it. Check for sharp details, doubling, or errors. If it looks unusual, contact a certified coin appraiser or send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Because that one coin, your coin, could be the next to break headlines and turn ordinary change into extraordinary wealth. The 1993 penny teaches us something powerful. Fortune favors those who pay attention to. So take a moment tonight. Empty that jar. Search through your coins. Because you never know. Your future might just be stamped on the face of Lincoln, waiting to shine through the years. After all, the next millionaire might not be on Wall Street. They might be holding a 1993 penny in their hand right now. If you want to learn how to identify rare and valuable coins like this one, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because every week, we uncover coins worth thousands, or even millions, hiding right under our noses. Imagine holding a single penny, worth over $200,000, a coin so ordinary that it passes through gas stations, grocery stores, and vending machines every single day, completely unnoticed. Now here's the twist. That very penny might be sitting in your pocket right now. Today, we're uncovering the secret behind the 2014 Memorial Lincoln penny, a coin that, under the right conditions, can fetch a market value of $214,000, and in some cases, even more. Before you roll your eyes and think, it's just a penny, right? Remember this. In the world of rare coins, the difference between 1 cent and one fortune often lies in the tiniest of details. So stay with me until the end, because by the time we're done, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to identify the rare variety, and how to cash in before others even realize what they're holding. And hey, if you've ever accidentally dropped a penny on the floor and didn't bother to pick it up, you might rethink that habit after today. Let's rewind to 2014. The U.S. Mint in Denver was producing billions of Lincoln Memorial pennies. At first glance, they looked identical: shiny copper plating, Abraham Lincoln's portrait, and the familiar D mint mark under the date. But here's where things get interesting. A handful of these coins left the mint with rare die errors, tiny imperfections that transformed an everyday coin into a collector's dream. Some coins showed double dies, where Lincoln's image or the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," appear faintly duplicated. Others revealed off-center strikes, where the design was slightly misaligned. And the rarest among them? Transitional errors, coins struck with metal compositions from previous minting years. Now, you might ask, how could something so small be worth so much? It's simple economics. Rarity meets demand. Collectors, investors, and even hedge fund managers are now chasing physical assets like coins, because unlike paper money, they hold tangible, historical, and artistic value. That's why one of these 2014 pennies sold at auction for over $214,000, and that wasn't a fluke. Others, in top condition or with verified minting errors, have reached values that can fund a home, a retirement plan, or even a small business. Think about that for a second. A coin you might have tossed into your car cup holder could be worth more than a luxury car. Suddenly, the idea of checking your couch cushions doesn't sound so ridiculous, does it? Now you might be wondering, how can I tell if my 2014 penny is one of the rare ones? Here's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. First, grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Inspect the date, mint mark, and lettering. Look closely for doubling, slightly thicker or shadowed lines on the numbers or letters. Next, flip it over. Examine the Lincoln Memorial for off-center patterns or distortions. If it looks a little off, it might be a good sign. And don't underestimate condition. A mint state penny, one that's never been circulated, can multiply in value exponentially. But here's the catch. Many people find these coins and don't even realize it. They spend them. They roll them up. They give them away in change. That's why right now, this very moment, is your chance to act before the market shifts and collectors move on to the next big discovery. So why should this matter to you? Because this isn't just about a penny. It's about what it represents. It's proof that value often hides in plain sight. That even the smallest, most overlooked things in life can hold the power to change your future. If you know where to look, maybe you're someone who's been searching for a breakthrough. Maybe you've been sitting on a jar of old coins from your parents or grandparents, thinking they're just souvenirs from the past. Well, now you know better. That jar could be your key to financial freedom, legacy wealth, or a powerful story worth telling. And if you're thinking, I'll check later, don't. Coins like this don't stay hidden forever. Every day, more collectors are sweeping through circulation, online listings, and estate sales. The window of opportunity is shrinking. Because once the market recognizes the remaining 2014 rare errors, prices will surge, and you'll wish you had taken action when you could. Take out your coins. Check every 2014 penny you have. Research your findings on reputable auction sites like Heritage Auctions or PCGS. And if you suspect you've struck gold, or in this case, copper, get it professionally graded. That's your ticket to verifying authenticity and unlocking its full potential. Who knows? Maybe the coin that's been sitting in your pocket all these years is your ticket to a $214,000 surprise. If a 1-cent coin can be worth a house, what other treasures might you be overlooking every single day? In the world of coins, fortune favors the observant, the ones who look closer, act faster, and refuse to ignore possibility. So start today. Because somewhere in America right now, someone's about to find their 2014 penny and change their life forever. Imagine this. You're digging through an old coin jar, just looking for enough change for your morning coffee. You grab a handful of pennies, some dull, some shiny, and one of them is a 2015 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark. You toss it aside without a second thought. But what if that single coin could change your life? Today, we're uncovering the unbelievable truth about the 2015 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent coin. How a simple penny, struck just a decade ago, could be worth more than $200,000, and why collectors are racing to find the next hidden gem. Now, before you rush to your piggy bank, stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, you'll learn exactly what makes this ordinary-looking penny extraordinary, how to spot the right one, and why this coin story is rewriting the rules of modern numismatics. You might want to grab a cup of coffee. This story is worth every cent of your attention to understand why the 2015 no mint mark Lincoln penny can be worth up to $215,000. We need to step back into its origin story. A story that starts not in 1909, when the Lincoln cent first appeared, But in the heart of America's minting evolution, BY 2015, billions of Lincoln Memorial pennies had been produced. Most are copper-plated zinc, cheap, mass-produced, and nearly worthless beyond face value. But among the billions, a few extraordinary errors slipped through the cracks, and those are what make coin collectors lose sleep at night. One particular batch from Philadelphia, where coins carry no mint mark, showed signs of double die errors, tiny misalignments in the coin striking process that create a ghost-like doubling effect on Lincoln's face or inscriptions. Some coins revealed rare off-center strikes. Others had missing layers or dramatic color shifts due to minting flaws. To the untrained eye, they look like minor blemishes. But to a serious collector, those details scream jackpot. And here's where the story takes an emotional turn, because one of these unassuming coins sold for over $215,000 in a private auction, leaving even veteran collectors stunned. Let that sink in. A 1-cent coin, minted less than 15 years ago, worth more than some luxury homes. Now, here's the question that should give you chills. Could there be one sitting in your home right now? Before you answer, let's talk about what separates the $1 million penny from the one in your car's cup holder. Think of it like this. Every coin tells a story. The scratches, the shine, the imperfections. They're all clues. But only those who learn to see differently can read what others overlook. That's where knowledge becomes power. And in this case, wealth. So how can you tell if your 2015 penny is worth a fortune? First, check the mint mark or lack of it. If your penny doesn't have a mint mark under the date, it was made in Philadelphia. That's your first clue. Next, inspect the coin's details closely. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look for doubling in the letters of Liberty or In God We Trust. Examine Lincoln's eyes and jacket. Any doubling, distortions, or blurred edges can mean a valuable error. Then, flip it over. The Lincoln Memorial or shield on the reverse side can reveal striking errors or misalignments. If any part of the design seems shifted or ghosted, you may have something special. But don't rush to conclusions. Some errors are subtle, and others are deceptive. Professional grading by organizations like PCGS or NGC can transform an ordinary find into a certified treasure. And here's the exciting part. Even minor errors can fetch hundreds, sometimes thousands. But the rare combination of perfect minting flaw, condition, and timing, that's the formula that turns a penny into a 6-figure masterpiece. Imagine the thrill of realizing you've been holding history in your palm all along. By the way, if you're checking your pockets right now, congratulations. You're officially part of America's most affordable treasure hunt. No metal detectors, no pirate ships, just you and your spare change. Who knew your couch cushions could fund your next vacation, or maybe your early retirement? But here's where it gets serious. Every day, these rare coins are being found, graded, and sold, sometimes for life-changing sums. But for every lucky finder, hundreds of others overlook them, spending what could have been their golden ticket on a pack of gum. Time and awareness are your best allies. The more coins circulate, the harder it becomes to find uncirculated examples. That means the clock is ticking. Here's the truth. You don't need to be a coin dealer, historian, or millionaire to start. You just need curiosity and the courage to look closer. The 2015 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just about metal and minting. It's about discovery, awareness, and realizing that value often hides in plain sight. Some people chase wealth their entire lives, overlooking the opportunities right in front of them. But the ones who pay attention, who see what others miss, are the ones who rewrite their story. And maybe that's what this penny represents. A reminder that greatness isn't always shiny or loud. Sometimes it's small, copper-colored, and waiting for the right person to notice. So, the next time you hear that familiar clink of change hitting the counter, stop for a moment. Look down. Could that penny be the one? The $215,000 treasure hiding in your pocket? Because right now, someone in America is holding theirs, and they just don't know it yet. And maybe, just maybe, that someone is you. If this story inspired you, don't let it end here. Check your coins. Research. Learn. And if you want to uncover more modern pennies worth thousands or even millions, make sure to subscribe and join the growing community of people turning pocket change into prosperity. Because sometimes, wealth doesn't come from chasing new opportunities. It comes from rediscovering what's already in your hands. Imagine this. You're digging through your change jar, looking for coffee money. And in your hand, you hold a penny. A plain, brown, ordinary-looking 2016 Lincoln cent with no mint mark. You shrug, toss it back, and forget about it. But here's the twist. That same penny, the one you just dismissed as worthless, could be worth over $216,000. Yes, you heard that right. $216,000. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can a coin from just a few years ago be worth more than a luxury car or even a house? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. By the end of this video, you'll know what makes this ordinary-looking 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so incredibly valuable, how to spot one yourself, and how you could turn a few cents into a life-changing sum of money. So maybe, just maybe, it's time to check that jar again. But first, a quick question. If you found out tomorrow that one of your old pennies was worth 6 figures, what's the first thing you'd buy? A new car? Pay off your mortgage? Maybe just vanish on a vacation to Maui? Think about it, because that dream might be closer than you realize. Let's go back to where it all began, the 2016 Lincoln Memorial Cent. At first glance, it's the same copper-plated zinc coin we've all seen millions of times. Lincoln's familiar profile on the front, the Union Shield on the back. No mint mark beneath the date, which means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Ordinary, right? Well, not exactly. You see, not all 2016 pennies are created equal. Some contain tiny imperfections, microscopic minting errors so rare, they can transform an everyday coin into a numismatic masterpiece. These are the hidden gems collectors crave. One of these 2016 pennies, discovered in pristine condition with an ultra-rare double die error and flawless strike, recently sold for over $216,000 at auction. That's right, 1 cent turned into a small fortune. Now, here's the fascinating part. Most people walk past this opportunity every single day. These coins circulate quietly in pockets, purses, and old drawers across America. They hide in plain sight, waiting for someone sharp enough to notice. You might be wondering, what should I look for? Here's where it gets exciting. Check for a strong doubling in the date 2016, or along Lincoln's profile, especially his eye and jawline. Look for unusually sharp edges or subtle misalignments in the shield design. Even slight variations in color, texture, or luster can indicate a rare minting anomaly. And please, don't just rub it on your jeans or drop it in a soda machine. If you think you've found one, handle it carefully, use cotton gloves if possible, and get it appraised. Because remember, this isn't just pocket change. This could be your retirement plan in disguise. Now let's talk about value and urgency. The coin market is changing fast. As demand for modern rare coins grows, values are climbing dramatically. In the last few years, coins once dismissed as too new to matter have shattered auction records. Collectors are hunting modern mint errors like never before. So here's the reality. Every day, thousands of people unknowingly spend or exchange potentially valuable coins. They pay for coffee, buy gas, and lose thousands of dollars without even realizing it. Don't let that be you. Instead, imagine this. You pull out that forgotten jar of coins, start examining each one under a light, and suddenly your heart skips a beat. There it is. A flawless, no mint mark 2016 penny with a rare doubling. You feel a rush of disbelief, then excitement, as you realize what you might be holding. That single coin could change everything. And here's what makes this story even more inspiring. The person who found that $216,000 coin wasn't a professional collector. They were an ordinary person just like you. Someone who decided to look a little closer. So the question is, are you going to keep ignoring those pennies? Or will you start searching? Now, before you rush to your piggy bank, here's something most people don't know. Condition is everything. Coins graded in top condition by PCGS or NGC can multiply in value instantly. Even a small nick or fingerprint can drop the price dramatically. Think of it like real estate. Location, condition, and timing all matter. And right now, the timing couldn't be better. Coin collectors and investors are paying record amounts for rare pennies, and experts predict these prices will only rise as supplies dwindle. So yes, that annoying change rattling in your cup holder might actually be more valuable than your car's warranty. Now you have two choices. You can walk away from this video, shrug, and forget everything you just heard. Keep treating pennies like nothing more than spare change. Or you can take action. Start today. Grab a magnifying glass, a soft cloth, and that dusty coin jar you've been ignoring. Look closely at your 2016 pennies, especially the ones without a mint mark, because somewhere out there, in someone's kitchen drawer or glove compartment, another $216,000 penny is waiting to be found, and who knows? Maybe this time, it's waiting for you. Remember, wealth doesn't always come from luck. It comes from awareness, from recognizing value where others see none. So open your eyes, trust your curiosity, and don't underestimate the power of a single cent if you found this video helpful. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because next week, we're uncovering another modern penny that's quietly breaking records and shocking collectors. Imagine this for a moment. You're emptying your pocket change at the end of the day, and a dull copper penny slips from your hand onto the counter. You almost ignore it. Just another cent, right? But what if that tiny coin was worth more than your car, your house, or even your retirement savings? Yes, it's true. One ordinary-looking 2021 Lincoln penny without a mint mark has sold for an astonishing $221,000. And here's the shocking part. There could still be more out there, hiding in plain sight. Now before you say, "Come on, how can a modern penny be worth that much?" Let's dive into the story, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot one, what gives it that jaw-dropping value, and how you can turn something as small as a cent into a life-changing discovery. Let's uncover the mystery of the 2021 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent coin, one of the most unexpected treasures of the modern coin age. To understand how a simple 2021 penny could reach such a massive value, we first have to step back and talk about how these coins are made. Most pennies minted in 2021 came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Coins from Denver have a small D, and those from San Francisco often bear an S. But pennies without any mint mark? Those usually come from Philadelphia. So what's the big deal with this one? The truth is, not all no mint mark coins are created equal. In 2021, a microscopic error during the minting process caused certain batches to have rare die cracks, double dies, and even planchet flaws, imperfections that collectors go absolutely crazy for. Now, here's where things get interesting. Point one of these flawed 2021 pennies, barely distinguishable from the millions in circulation, was discovered in pristine condition, almost untouched. Under magnification, experts found an extraordinary doubling on the obverse, the front of the coin, particularly on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." That subtle detail, invisible to the naked eye, turned a humble coin into a six-figure masterpiece. It later sold at auction for $221,000. And the wildest part? The owner didn't even realize what they had. They found it inside a coin jar in their kitchen drawer. Let that sink in for a second. A penny. A single cent sitting unnoticed for years, holding enough value to change someone's financial life overnight. Now, before you run to the kitchen to dig through your jar, let's talk about what makes this coin so special. Quick question. When's the last time you actually looked at a penny instead of tossing it aside? Be honest, probably never, right? Well, after today, you might look at every single one like it's a lottery ticket. Continuation, emotional build. Excitement plus fear of missing out coin. Experts believe that only a handful of these error pennies still exist in circulation. That means every time you spend, save, or even drop a penny, you could be letting go of a fortune. There's something thrilling and terrifying about that, because for every person who finds one of these coins, there are thousands who unknowingly spend theirs on a pack of gum. The key difference? Knowledge. That's what separates the lucky from the wealthy in the world of coin collecting. And today, you're not just getting luck, you're getting insider understanding of what to look for. Let's break it down. Here are the main signs your 2021 no-mint mark penny might be worth a fortune. 1. Check the coin surface. Look for any unusual texture, cracks, or raised lines near the edge. These could signal die errors. Point 2. Examine the letters, especially "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." If the letters look slightly doubled or shadowed, that could indicate a double die, one of the most valuable types of minting errors. Point 3. Condition matters. Coins graded MS or mint state with no scratches or discoloration fetch the highest values. If your penny looks untouched, handle it carefully, by the edges only, and get it professionally appraised. And 4. Act fast. Rare coins like this don't stay under the radar for long. Once word spreads and collectors start hunting, the market tightens, and your opportunity window closes quickly. Think about it. People spend years chasing wealth through investments, side hustles, and endless work. Yet the key to life-changing money could already be sitting in your pocket change. Now, if that doesn't spark curiosity, I don't know what will. What if you're holding on to your next vacation home? Or your debt-free retirement? Would you still ignore that penny on your nightstand tomorrow morning? Before you rush off to check your coins, there's one more secret most people don't know about the 2021 series. A handful of test strikes. Coins used internally at the US Mint before mass production were reportedly released by mistake. If you stumble upon one of those, its value could go far beyond $221,000. We're talking $500,000 or more. So here's the real question. How will you know if you found one? Stick with me till the very end, because in just a moment, I'll reveal the telltale clue that only expert graders look for, something that separates a valuable 2021 penny from a lookalike worth 1 cent. The story of the 2021 no-mint mark penny isn't just about coins. It's about awareness. It's about slowing down in a world that's constantly rushing, taking a second to notice value where others see none. Because wealth isn't always about working harder. Sometimes, it's about seeing what others overlook. The people who discover these coins aren't necessarily collectors. They're everyday individuals who decided to look closer, to ask questions, to recognize opportunity disguised as copper. That's what this channel is all about. Helping you spot hidden wealth right in front of you. Alright, here's that expert clue I promised you. Look closely at the rim alignment, that thin border surrounding the design. If it's slightly misaligned, and the coin feels uneven when laid flat, you could be looking at one of those rare pre-production test strikes. Those are the true jackpots of the 2021 penny series. And yes, they're still out there. So tonight, when you empty your wallet, don't ignore your pennies. Line them up, inspect them, and imagine the story each one could tell. Because the next time you hold a 2021 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, you might be holding a small piece of American history, and possibly a six-figure fortune. If you found this story inspiring, share it with someone who loves treasure hunts, hidden gems, or just a good underdog story. Subscribe now, so you never miss the next rare coin that could turn your spare change into real wealth. Remember, every penny counts, literally. Your next one could be worth $221,000 or more.